Welcome to A Balanced Life on the Go. I'm Dr. Nicole Lindsay, your host on this podcast, along with Dr. Brian Jeanette. This is a podcast designed to help connect you to a more balanced life on the go. Each week, we will bring you simple, concise, and easy to implement ideas, tips, and strategies to help you connect to better nutrition, movement, and thinking so you can achieve balance in your busy life. Isn't this what life is all about? Trying to achieve balance so that we can be healthy, happy, and live to our fullest potential. We're glad you joined us. Let's get started. Podcast number 18.
Number 18.
Foods that boost your immune system. Welcome to our podcast. Before we start off, we always like to start off our podcasts with knowing what socks Dr. Brian is wearing.
So these are actually special socks. We should probably make a social media post on this because these are one of my favorite socks.
You say that every time.
I have a lot of favorite socks. Whatever socks I'm wearing that day are probably going to be my favorite socks. For whatever reason, I call these like my Hawaiian beach socks. I don't know why. They're not particularly Hawaii, but they just remind me of Hawaii. I don't know.
They kind of do. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. We could use a little sunshine right now.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of sunshine, what we're talking about today is the immune system. And our immune system, as you may know, is a system in our body that's made up of a very complex network of organs and glands that are designed to fight off viruses, infections, bacteria to keep you healthy.
The organs that we have in our body, the glands that we have in our body, these are the spleen, these are the thymus gland, these are our lymph nodes, this is actually our bone marrow and parts of our blood. All these things come together to create this whole holistic defense network for viruses and bacteria, or foreign invaders.
So all day as you're eating, breathing, thinking, living your life, going about your day, putting things into your system, not even aware of some of the things getting into your system, your body's immune system is working to combat foreign invaders to prevent you from getting sick, to ward off all of this stuff and keep you healthy. So there's this delicate balance that's happening all the time. And what we want to talk about is how you can boost that system through food.
A lot of the times people are consistently doing things or doing activities that are working against their immune system. You're constantly trying to crawl and drag your way uphill. And it's this constant uphill battle of immune system. You know, these people they're always, something is always not right. They're always just a little under the weather or a little fatigued or they have a headache or they have sinus problems or, it's just this constant repetitive strain on the body and they're trying to fight uphill. So today in this podcast, what we want to go over is particularly how we can boost your immune system with food and different techniques that we can use.
Yeah, because there's actually lots of things you can do to boost your immune system. In fact, we did a Facebook Live that lives on Facebook on our page. We delved into this topic and went into detail, but just a quick synopsis here. Lots of things you can do to boost your immune system. Diet, which we're going to talk about for the rest of this podcast, is definitely one. Exercise and movement is two.
Stress reduction techniques is number 3.
Sleep. Gotta get your minimum 8 hours sleep as an adult.
Absolutely. And number 5 is vitamin D. Getting vitamin D from the sun or through supplementation.
And then number 6, probably our favorite and most important, is chiropractic care. Chiropractic care can really dial your immune system in, your nervous system in, and help your body function better. So let's jump into the diet part of your immune system, because with this podcast, our goal is to help you create that healthy, balanced life on the go. There's quick things you can do when it comes to diet, like go through the drive-through, or grab unhealthy things because you're too busy. But there's also things you can do in preparation for your week. Cooking healthy, putting together healthy food items that are going to keep your immune system healthy that we're going to talk about.
So food prepping, right? Making big batches of food and individually storing them in their container so you can just grab it and you can go. So the first thing that we want to talk to you about today is this kind of whole group of molecules called antioxidants. Right? And so antioxidants are found in foods that help to offset a lot of the stress that goes to our cells, that goes to our immune system, that goes to all our organs and other receptors that are in there. One of the main antioxidants that everybody kind of thinks about is vitamin C.
And vitamin C, that's probably the first thing you think of when you think
immune system.
Yeah. I'm getting sick. I need some vitamin C.
Emergency.
Yeah, emergencies. Yes. Why is that? Why does vitamin C have that clout to it? Well, it does have that because it's responsible for production of white blood cells, and white blood cells, they fight infections in your body. So examples of some of the foods, the citrus foods that are high in vitamin C are grapefruits, oranges, lime, lemon, tangerines.
There's some other fruits, or there's some other foods that people really don't think about containing vitamin C, and that's broccoli and red peppers. Red peppers in particular contain 3 times as much vitamin C as your typical orange. So if you really want to kind of increase your dosage of vitamin C in your body, maybe not reach for that orange or reach for that emergency packet, but reach for that red pepper.
Yes.
Reach for that broccoli.
Yes. Right? And with broccoli, you may not like it raw. I'm not a big fan of raw broccoli, but steaming it is the best way to keep those nutrients packed in there so you're not losing a whole lot. You don't want to cook it down.
You don't want to make it soggy.
No, don't make it soggy, but steaming is definitely if you can't handle the raw.
Absolutely, and depending on what we want to get out of our food, whether we eat it raw, whether we steam it, whether we grill it, each of these ways, each of these cooking methods for these fruits or vegetables can help to trap or unlock different enzymes, different molecules within that vegetable itself. So it's really important to utilize different methods of cooking.
So one of the first recipes we want to give you is a vegan broccoli cheddar soup. This is a great way to get a lot of vitamin C and the antioxidants that we were talking about into your diet. So what you're going to need are 2 tablespoons of olive oil, an onion, garlic cloves. You can add some peppers in here if you want to give it a spice. Some poblano peppers, 1 to 2. You can put a jalapeno in here as well. Broccoli, lots of broccoli, 7 cups, 4 cups of chicken broth, 1 cup of water, bay leaf, and some salt, pepper, oregano to go with it.
So here is where we get the actual vegan cheddar soup part of that. One of the things that gives it that creamy texture is actually raw cashews, or you can actually use hemp hearts with this. You can also add in nutritional yeast, which kind of gives it more of that flavor, more of that texture, and then add in a handful of baby spinach. Right, this just gives it a good color. This
is making me hungry.
Oh my gosh, I know.
So you're gonna just heat the oil up. You're gonna add the onion, garlic, the peppers. Stir that, let the onions get golden about 5 minutes. Then you're gonna add the broccoli, the broth, the water, and the spices. And then you're gonna just bring this to a boil and let this simmer gently until that broccoli's tender, about 10 to 12 minutes. Then you're gonna blend up the broccoli, a cup of broth, and the cashews. And basically, you're going to get this until it's silky smooth.
When you do this, what you want to do now is add another cup of broccoli and 1 more cup of bone broth. And you're going to continue adding this. You're going to continue blending it until it's that silky smooth texture. What you also want to do is add more spinach to the blender. Again, the spinach is going to give this nice, green, vibrant color, and it's going to, help to really incorporate everything and make it more smooth. And then you're going to take that, what's in the blender, and you're going to pour that back into the broccoli soup pot, or what you're going to use to mix everything together. And you put that on the stove. You're gonna put that on a very low heat. You don't want to boil it. Or you don't want to simmer it too long. It's gonna end up draining that vibrant green color from that. And then from now, you just want to add a little bit of salt with a little heat, and squeeze some lemon or lime juice on it. If you really like spicy food, you can put some chili flakes or more pepper on it.
And because we're avoiding cheese, like dairy, this is a vegan recipe. If you need that extra cheesy flavor, you can add another tablespoon of nutritional yeast to give it that cheesy flavor. Then you want to make the finishing oil. Get 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil in a small skillet, and you're going to add your jalapeno, a teaspoon of cumin seeds, chili flakes, some of the optional stuff. We're gonna give you links to these recipes, by the way. And you're gonna heat some cumin in here as well. And this is what you're going to serve with your soup, and garnish with a little cilantro and scallion, maybe a wedge of lime. And there you have a very healthy bowl of vegan broccoli cheddar jalapeno soup.
I'm going to make that this weekend.
Whew, sounds delicious.
The other part of your boosting your immune system with food is particularly talking about the gut, the microbiome or the microbiota. What lives in your gut is hundreds of millions of billions of trillions of cells, and these cells comprise germs and bacteria. And how we can really get these beneficial bacteria is through probiotics. Now, there's a difference between the term probiotic and prebiotic. So right now what I want to talk to you about is probiotics, and these are the beneficial bacteria. We'll also discuss prebiotics, which are like the food that you give these bacteria, because bacteria is a living organism. They have to eat, they have to grow, they have to have a nutritional intake. So probiotics are the actual organisms themselves, and prebiotics are the food that you feed to the bacteria.
And you need both. And we're going to talk about probiotics in a minute, but as far as the prebiotics, they come from types of carbs, mostly fiber that you eat that your body cannot digest so well. So this is the beneficial fiber in your gut. You eat this, and it's found in vegetables, fruits, legumes. And as Dr. Brian said, the probiotic then takes this fiber and then creates the postbiotic, which we'll talk about too. Mm-hmm. So you've got your prebiotic, your probiotic, and then your postbiotic.
So one of the things that is kind of important to remember, like we said, the prebiotics are so important because this is what actually gives your probiotic, or the bacteria in your gut, food. Now, the types of food that probiotics consume it's actually a gas. So the types of foods that you think kind of make you bloated and kind of make you gassy, like legumes and beans, other types of peas, other types of fibers with that, that's actually a good thing. That you don't want to have, a bunch of gas or a bunch of bloating. But when you do create this gas in your stomach, this is what the good bacteria in your stomach eats.
Yes. So some of the foods that are high in prebiotic fibers are oats, legumes, beans, peas, bananas, garlic, onions, asparagus, and berries, just to name a few. So we're going to give you a recipe here that you can make, a couple of recipes in this area. And that way you can get some of these prebiotics into your body. This one is a vegan glow bowl. Specifically, we're going to call this a blueberry vegan bowl. And what you will need are 1.5 cups of black barley, or a grain of your choice that's uncooked, 2 cups of blueberries, 1 fennel bulb, a bunch of watercress, 1 orange, 1/4 red onion, 1 avocado, 1/4 cup of walnuts.
And we're actually going to make like a citrus dressing with this. So you need some fresh orange juice. We're going to use a little bit of olive oil, We're going to have some finely chopped red onions. You're going to have a little bit of red wine vinegar in there, and then a sweetener of your choice, whether it's maple syrup, whether it's agave or honey. And then you're going to use a little bit of kosher salt on that. And then if you really want to add a little bit of extra nutrients in there, you can add a small tablespoon of bee pollen.
So what you'll do first is place the black barley in a medium pot with 4 cups of water. Bring this to a boil, and then you're going to turn the heat down to low. Cover and simmer for about an hour until it's cooked al dente. Then you're going to drain and chill this grain. Prep all the veggies, taking care to thin slice the fennel bulb and red onion. And then you divide the blackberry barley among 4 bowls. So you're going to get 4 servings here. Divide the rest of the ingredients, the blueberries, fennel bulb, red onion, watercress, avocado, orange slices, and walnuts among the 4 bowls. You'll make the dressing, stir all the ingredients together in a small bowl, and then you'll divide the dressing among the bowls and drizzle the dressing over all of the ingredients in each bowl.
And this is like a prebiotic powerhouse meal right here. Every single one of those ingredients really helps to create this wonderful environment to feed your good gut bacteria. You can also feed your gut bacteria bad or inappropriate things, and it's very easy. Anything that's processed, anything that's highly processed, highly refined, sugars, hydrogenated oils, and even a lot of natural sugars when you consume a diet too high in sugar.
Yes. And, people ask us all the time, what supplements they should take. Should I take a probiotic? Should I take a prebiotic? And, here's the thing. You can get a lot of this good bacteria from food that you're eating if you're eating healthfully. So that's what we want to give you today, is that those foods, those recipes that will give you that healthy gut bacteria so that your immune system is working 100%. I mean, have you ever eaten something and then next day you wake up, or 3 days later you wake up and you feel off, you don't feel good, you feel congested? Is it just the pollen in your environment? Is it because you're run down at work and stressed out? What is it? Could it be the food that you're eating that's disturbing the gut flora? And it could be all of it together.
I was going to say, to be honest, all of it goes together. If you eat poorly, if you don't sleep enough, if you're under a lot of stress, you've just beaten down your immune system 3 different ways. And then you add in the pollen, or then you add in, springtime with new blooming flowers, and then your body just hits a breaking point. But the breaking point is the very last thing that we notice. So it's in our timeline. So it's the thing that just happened the most recent. So we contribute that is the problem. That's the only problem that it could be. Humans have pretty short memories, unfortunately. So it's one of these things that we need to really look back. We really need to assess what happened 24 hours ago, what happened 48 hours ago, what happened 10 years ago, to figure out what's going on right now.
Yes, and your gut has a very delicate balance, so we have to treat it right. Another recipe we want to talk about in this area, something that you can drink. You can make and drink, and it is an anti-inflammatory elixir.
I'm a big fan of these just little small elixir shots that you can take. You get this like high mega dose of antioxidants. You get this high mega dose of just really good anti-inflammatory. Kind of looks like a mimosa.
Yes, it does. And this is what's called Jama juice. And this, again, is going to give you a mega dose of these prebiotics. What it has in it is a half a cup of fresh turmeric root, 3/4 cup of fresh ginger root, 4 cups of water, honey or maple, whatever you want to sweeten it with, and a lemon, lime, or citrus of your liking.
All you have to do is just put all of that in a blender. You slice the turmeric, you slice the ginger into thin little discs. You place in the blender. You're going to put some water in there, and you're going to blend it up for about a minute. What you want to do then is to actually strain it into a bowl. When you do that, you're going to pour that into a quart jar, and then add the remaining 2 cups of water. So it's going to be pretty diluted down. You can also drink this hot if you want to. Just leave out the remaining 2 cups of water. At this point, you can either add a sweetener to it if you wanted to add some sort of honey to it, or some sort of citrus juice to that. You can as well.
So what a great, refreshing drink that you can drink cold, hot, and boost your immune system to boot.
I'll tell you what my wife and I do. We sometimes we'll take turmeric and ginger. We'll take honey, and then just to really put a little fire on it, we'll mix it with some cayenne pepper, and then we'll take those shots. And that does a really good job of, actually wakes me up a little bit better than coffee does.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm a pretty big sissy when it comes to hot, spicy things. So cayenne pepper really, kind of knocks me into the next week.
Yes. And speaking of being woken up, garlic is another food that we need to talk about in this particular category of prebiotics. And you can do so much with garlic, and you don't have to just add it to food. You can eat it by itself. You can roast it with some olive oil and some rosemary. You can use it as a spread after you do that and spread it over like a gluten-free cracker. I know when I'm not feeling good, that's my go-to. I will take some garlic raw and crush it up and mix it with some olive oil and eat it. I'll put it over something and just get it into my system, because I know that will help my gut and help my immune system.
Garlic's a great antimicrobial. So even if you ingest it, the garlic itself is going to help to fight foreign invaders.
Yes. So the next category of foods that can really help your immune system are foods that are rich in probiotics. And these are naturally fermented foods like kimchi, kraut, yogurt, kombucha. And what these foods do is they support your gut microbe so that you can basically boost your immune system. They're live organisms in the fermented food.
These live organisms, they either help to balance or create an imbalance of the bacteria in your digestive system. And these bacteria, these organisms in your digestive system, they're linked to our overall health. We've done so many studies, and we've linked particular strands of bacteria in your gut to either anxiety, to depression, to OCD. So they have such a large, impactful role on our health. So it's really important to make these strong. They promote, a healthy balance of just the good gut bacteria. When you have a healthy balance of this gut bacteria actually helps to create antibodies and immune cells. And a lot of this, they actually inhibit the growth of the harmful bacteria.
Yes, so very, very important food substances that we need to get in our body, and you can make these yourself. You can purchase them already made, or if you have a lot of time on your hands right now, this is a good time to learn how to do this and make this stuff yourself. So kimchi is one of the food items that we want to talk to you about. Kimchi is fermented cabbage, and basically you can spice it with and flavor it with ginger, garlic, Korean chili, lots of different flavors that you can add to it. So how you make kimchi is basically you need 2 pounds of Napa cabbage. You need sea salt. We need a daikon radish, a bunch of scallions, fresh ginger, garlic, shallots, Korean-style red pepper flakes, some fish sauce, and sugar's optional. You can use honey, brown rice syrup, if you want to sweeten this.
Because this kimchi, this fermented cabbage, because a lot of this is alive, the bacteria actually eats the sugar, and so some of that sugar actually doesn't get into your system as well. So that's good to know. What you're going to do is you're going to take this cabbage and you're going to salt the cabbage, and you're going to leave it out for like 6 to 8 hours. So the whole process to make kimchi or ferment all these different types of recipes that we're going to give you, they take several days to several weeks. So if you drink kombucha, that can take several weeks to start to grow the kombucha drink itself. So you take the cabbage, you're going to salt it for about 6 to 8 hours, right? Once that has sufficiently salted, you're going to drain the cabbage, and you're actually going to save that briny type water that you have. And you're going to rinse off the cabbage, drain it, squeeze it, and just take out any excess water and then blow it with a paper towel and then put it back in the bowl, right? Next, you want to make a paste that goes along with that. So you're going to put the ginger, garlic, shallots, red pepper flakes, and fish sauce, or if you want to put any other types of sauce in there, you can. And you're going to add the sugar, and you're going to put it all in a food processor. If you want to, give it a little bit more flavor, give it a little bit more texture, you can add rice powder. Now what you're going to do is you're going to actually take that paste that you made, and you're going to scoop it and you're going to put it over the cabbage. And when you do this, you're going to mix it together and massage it with the vegetables and the red pepper mixture until it's pretty well coated. So you're going to have to dig in there with your hands. When this gets done, you're going to take that cabbage and you're going to put it into a large 2-quart or 3-quart jar, depending on how much you have. And you're going to leave 1 to 2 inches room at the top for the juices to release. Now it's important that you can seal this because it's as it starts to ferment, it's going to create gas, it's going to create juice, and the gas is going to go up to the top, and the liquid or briny type water is going to go down to the bottom, and you just want to cover it. You just want to cover it and just make sure that all the vegetables can continue to be submerged in that briny water. You're going to have 1 whole cabbage leaf left over, and you're going to put that over the top. It's going to be pressing down on it, so the kimchi is going to actually be fully submerged in this brine, and then you let it ferment. You let it sit for 3 days, 4 days, however long that it's going to take to create the proper amount of gas mixture in there. And like I said, you're just going to cover the lid so none of the gases escape from there. After 3 or 4 days, you want to check for the fermentation. You want to check for, actually what it creates is bubbles, and it's tiny bubbles that rise to the top, but you want to make sure that they don't overflow. If you see the bubbles, it is ready to be put in your fridge, and it will continue to ferment, and it will continue to develop more flavor slowly. And once you put it in the fridge, it can last for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, right? So it really does take a long time for the kimchi to really kind of reach its full flavor and complexity. It can actually take up to 2 weeks, right? So this can be a very long process, but the longer you wait,
the better it is.
The better it is.
Yes, and your gut will appreciate it too. And we have some other amazing recipes in this category. We have a turmeric sauerkraut. We have a switchel recipe as well that you can make a juice kind of similar to the jama juice that you can drink that also will give you these probiotics as well. So we'll make sure in this podcast that there are links to this so that you can make these as well. There's also a recipe for a dressing, a raw apple cider vinaigrette dressing.
So good.
Yes, which is very easy to make and can give you that fermented food as well to boost your immune system. The next category is going to be our postbiotic. Now, postbiotic is not something that you actually eat. They're really the chemicals released from the bacteria that live in your gut when the prebiotics feed on the fiber. So how you get postbiotics is by eating foods that give you the prebiotics. And they're mainly the slow metabolizing starches that feed the healthy bacteria in our little intestines. They're going to be your beans and legumes, whole grains, and sweet potatoes.
It's pretty much all I eat, which is probably why I'm gassy sometimes.
True story. And we do have a recipe for sweet potatoes and miso ginger with scallions that is a perfect recipe for you to get these get this healthy bacteria in your gut and boost your immune system.
So one of the last things that we want to talk about, one of the most important micronutrients to help boost our immune system is zinc. And zinc is so important. It activates the enzymes that break down the proteins in viruses. Our bodies can't make these. And when we can break down the proteins in the viruses and the bacteria, that makes them less able to spread. So it decreases the availability of these viruses and bacteria to affect our body.
Yes, and zinc can also activate the cells responsible for fighting infections. So this is definitely one element that you want to make sure you're getting into your system when you're wanting to boost your immune system. Foods that are high in zinc are going to be oysters, crab. I knew I was born to be
crab,
living on
lobster,
the ocean.
yes.
Lamb, beef, chicken thighs, tofu, lentils and beans, yogurt, oats, mushrooms, and unsweetened dark chocolate.
Don't get that dark chocolate that's like 30%. You got to go like 72% or higher.
Exactly.
You know what I'm talking about.
And we have some incredible recipes in this category too. One that I'm going to try myself tomorrow night. Paleo chicken mushroom casserole. This you will need 2 medium chicken breasts. You'll need some avocado oil, 16 ounces of mushrooms, 2 zucchinis, cashew butter, unsweetened almond milk, and you're going to need some grated paleo or vegan cheese. And how you make this is basically preheat your oven 375, and you're going to bake the cubed chicken for about 30 minutes until it's fully cooked. And then while that's baking, you're going to heat up the avocado oil in a skillet, and you're going to spiralize the zucchini. That's always fun. I like to do that. Cook the mushrooms in the oil for about 5 minutes, and then you're going to add your spiralized zucchini. Cook for another 7 to 10 minutes until the mushrooms and the zucchini softens. And then in a separate bowl, mix the cashew butter, almond milk, and create a sauce. Remove the chicken from the oven and place the chicken in the skillet, and then pour the cashew butter and almond milk into the skillet. You'll top with that cheese, which is optional, and you just cook until it's all hot, and then enjoy it. Sounds delicious, doesn't it?
This is so good. I actually made this exact same recipe 2 weeks ago, but I used rice instead of the spiralized zucchini.
Perfect. So there you have it. These are some of the foods that you can make to boost your immune system. Some definitely take a little bit more time than others, but food prep on a Sunday, on a weekend day, so that way you'll have enough for the week, will help ensure that you're eating healthy foods on the go. But these are some of the things that you'll want to do to boost your immune system. We always want to leave you with the one thing that you can start doing right now to take from this information and start working on boosting your immune system through food. And
what we want to do is have you add in either one of these recipes or one of these ingredients that we talked about. Consistently adding in something to your diet. And I don't want you to take away anything. Taking away things is hard. I don't want you to feel punished. But I want you to add in something that can help boost your immune system through food.
Something new. Something you've never made before. Maybe it's the JAMA juice. Maybe it's eating roasted garlic. Maybe you'll try kimchi for the first time. Kind of get creative and go out on a limb and do something different for yourself, for your immune system, for your health. And that's the one thing we want to leave you with today is try something different. There you have it. Hope you enjoyed our podcast today.